The first question comes from a woman who says, should tribunals work harder to grant or deny annulments quicker? What should these waiting Catholics searching for clarity in their vocational direction do in the meantime?
So we want tribunals to proceed with the expediency that is possible given three constraints. The first constraint is how quickly the evidence can be acquired and assessed. Secondly, the staffing limitations they have because they have multiple cases they've got to proceed through, and therefore there needs to be a waiting list. And thirdly, the degree of deliberation needed in order to get to the truth, because the truth's the most important thing. And unfortunately, we live in a world that is subject to the laws of economics. Economics is the use of resources, of limited resources that have alternative uses. Mm-hmm. So they can't hear cases the same day they come in. They can't get there's too many cases for that. They can't get the data they need super quickly, and they can't analyze it super quickly without running the risk of making mistakes. So within those three parameters, we want them to proceed as quickly as possible, but we don't want them to proceed any more quickly, because that would lead to compromising the accuracy of the results. At least given the resources they have. Now, you want to give them more resources so they can hire more people? Well, then you could get faster handling of the cases. But that would be a change. You'd be changing the resource balance in that situation. So I think I don't have a way of saying in general, should they be going faster than they are, because that involves a knowledge of factors that I don't have. I can say we want them to go as fast as possible within these parameters, but I don't know how efficient they're actually being at present. I don't know if it's reasonable for them to go faster or if they should go slower. In terms of what people should do in the meantime, well, be patient, be prayerful, pray that God will guide that the witnesses and the people who are giving the evidence will all have accurate memories, and they'll be honest, and that the judges will be wise and discerning in processing that, and that they'll ultimately come to the correct conclusion. It's
going to be a very difficult place to be in, doesn't it? If you're a young person and you think I might be able to get married, and you have to wait, and who knows how long.
Also,
should you be dating during that time?
I would say no. Now, there could be exceptions. There may be situations where it's really obvious that a prior marriage was null. A case of this would be, if it's a documentary case rather than a formal process case, where going in, it's invalid because at least one of the spouses was subject to Catholic canon law. They didn't have a Catholic marriage,
right,
and they didn't get a dispensation, and there weren't extenuating circumstances. So that marriage is just invalid. You know that up front. All that's required is to present the relevant documents, and the marriage will be annulled. So in a document, that's why the church has a difference between the documentary process and the formal process for handling annulment cases. Well, I'd say in a documentary case, if you know up front the marriage was invalid, it's just a matter of producing the relevant documentation to show that, well, then there's not a problem dating, because you're going to get the annulment. Mm-hmm. Similarly, if you know that even if it requires a formal process, if you have really good evidence that the formal process is going to show that this was not valid, like well, I won't give hypothetical examples, but there are some cases where it's really clear. Well, then it's not as problematic to be dating as if the outcome is uncertain. If you don't know which way this is going to go, I would say it is irresponsible to be dating, because you're getting your own hopes up about something that very well may not happen. Yeah. You're getting someone else's hopes up about something that very well may not happen. If it doesn't happen and you're both faithful to the church, it's going to hurt like hell. If you've gotten emotionally involved in someone and then it turns out you can't marry them, it's going to hurt like hell to break up and end that relationship. And if you don't break it up and you decide to sleep around or go get a civil marriage and then sleep around, you are not only going into sin yourself, you're pulling this other person into sin with you. So I would say if the outcome of the process is uncertain, you should not be dating.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Either that, or you better brace yourself for, we're going to suck it up and do the right thing. If we can't get an annulment, we will end this relationship.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.